Okay, I need you to hear me right now. And I mean, really hear me, not as background noise, not with half your attention somewhere else, but fully, completely present for what I am about to tell you. Because I have been sitting with your energy for a while now, and what I keep coming back to, what I cannot move away from, no matter how many times I shuffle and draw and sit in the quiet of this reading, is something that honestly shocked me. Not in a dramatic way. In the way that truth sometimes shocks you, the quiet kind of shock, the kind that arrives when something becomes suddenly, undeniably visible, that was always there but somehow never fully seen. Virgo, you do not know what you have. And I mean that in the most specific, most personal, most loving way possible. I mean that the thing you are carrying, the thing you walk around with every single day as though it is ordinary, as though everyone has it, as though it requires no particular acknowledgement, is not ordinary. It is not common. And the people around you who are paying the kind of attention you deserve are aware of something about you that you yourself have not yet fully registered. And I need to be the one to tell you today because the cards are insisting on it, and I am not someone who ignores what insists. Trust me on this, please. What you have is rare. Let me start by describing what I felt the moment I tuned into your energy, because I think it will help you understand why this reading feels different from the beginning. The first thing that came through before any card was turned, before any specific message began to form, was a quality, a particular quality of energy that I want to try to describe as accurately as I can. It felt like walking into a room where something is blooming, where something is in the process of opening that has been closed for a long time, not because it was damaged, not because something was wrong with it, but simply because it was not yet its season. And now the season has changed, and what was always inside this thing, all the color and the fragrance and the extraordinary particular beauty of it, is beginning to move outward, beginning to become visible, beginning to reach the air. That is your energy right now, Virgo. That is what I felt the moment I sat with you today. Something in you is blooming, and you are the last person to notice. And I want to stay with this for a moment because I think what I just said landed differently for different people watching this. Some of you felt a warmth in your chest when I said it, a quiet recognition, a part of you that has been waiting a very long time to hear someone say, "You are more than you think you are." And some of you felt something more complicated, something that wanted to believe it but immediately reached for the qualifier, for the but, for the list of reasons why that cannot possibly be true in your specific case. I want to speak to both of those responses because they both deserve acknowledgement. To the part of you that felt warmth, let it stay, don't manage it, don't minimize it the moment it arrives. That warmth is recognition, your deeper self agreeing with what I'm saying because it has always known it was true. Let that agreement live in you for a little while without immediately being edited into something smaller. And to the part of you that reached for the qualifier, I see you. I understand why you are there. You have been in enough situations where you believed something wonderful about yourself only to have that belief complicated by what happened next, and you have learned very reasonably, very intelligently, to protect yourself from the particular pain of hope that collapses. I understand. And I am not asking you to abandon that protection entirely. I am just asking you to hold it a little more loosely today. Just enough to let what I'm about to say actually reach you. Because what I am about to say is true and you deserve to receive it. Here is what the energy keeps showing me about what you carry, Virgo, and why I keep using that word carry rather than simply who you are. Because carry implies something active, something that you bring with you into every room, every conversation, every relationship, every moment of contact with another human being. And what you bring is substantial. It is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not walk in ahead of you and demand to be recognized. It arrives quietly, the way all genuinely valuable things tend to arrive, and it reveals itself gradually to the people who are paying the kind of attention that most people, frankly, do not pay. But the people who do pay that attention, they see something that stops them. They see a depth of feeling that is unusual, the kind of emotional intelligence that does not come from reading about emotions, but from having lived inside them with full presence, from having actually felt things rather than managing them from a distance. You process the world through your feeling before anything else, even though you are also extraordinarily analytical. You feel first and you understand second. And that combination feeling with that depth and then understanding with that precision is something most people have never encountered in another human being. They have met people who feel deeply. They have met people who think clearly. The two in one person moving together like that is something that genuinely takes the breath away when you encounter it. You take people's breath away, Virgo. I wonder if you know that. I want to speak to something now that I think sits at the very center of this reading. Something about the specific way luck is going to move in your life, because the title of this reading promises luck, and I want to be honest about the nature of what I am sensing, because it is not quite what most people mean when they use that word. What is coming for you is not the kind of luck that falls from the sky without context. It is not lottery luck, not right place, right time luck in the random sense. What I keep sensing is something much more interesting than that. It is the luck that emerges when someone finally begins to be fully, completely, unapologetically themselves in every context where they show up. When the gap between who they are privately and who they allow themselves to be publicly begins to close, when they stop performing a slightly smaller or slightly safer or slightly more manageable version of themselves and simply arrive fully, completely, without apology as what they actually are. That closing of the gap is what I feel beginning to happen in your energy, and the luck that follows it is not accidental. It is the natural consequence of authenticity meeting a world that has been waiting without knowing it for exactly what you carry. Let me be specific, because I think specificity is what makes the difference between a reading that touches you and a reading that genuinely changes something. In your relationships, and I mean this across the board, not only romantically, what I keep sensing is a shift in how you are being received. People who have known you for a while are beginning to see something they did not quite see before. Not because you have changed dramatically, because something in you has relaxed. Some of the careful management, some of the self editing, some of the instinct to present only the most organized and most controlled version of yourself in order to avoid being misunderstood. Some of that is softening, and what is coming through in its place is the real you. The unedited, unfiltered, unexpurgated version of who you actually are when you stop worrying about how you are being perceived. And that version, that one specifically, is magnetic in a way that the careful managed version simply is not. Because here is the truth about charm and about attraction and about the quality of connection that lasts. None of it comes from being perfectly presented. All of it comes from being genuinely present. And when you are genuinely present, when you stop editing yourself and simply exist in the full particular specificity of who you are one of the most compelling people in any room you inhabit. Not because you are trying to be, because you simply are. Someone in your life is already experiencing this, already feeling the pull of the unedited version of you that has been emerging, already finding themselves thinking about you more than they expected to, noticing things about you that they cannot quite articulate, but that they cannot stop noticing, finding themselves wanting to be in your orbit in a way that is going to surprise them when they finally acknowledge it to themselves. And I feel that acknowledgement coming sooner than you might expect. I want to speak to what I feel in the material dimension of this lucky period because I think it deserves real attention and real specificity. What keeps coming through is the energy of something unexpected arriving through your natural gifts, not through hustle, not through forcing open a door that was not ready to open, but through the organic, natural, almost effortless expression of something. You are genuinely excellent at something that perhaps you have been treating as ordinary because you have been able to do it so long that you forgot other people cannot. There is something you do, a skill, a way of thinking, a way of approaching problems or creating things or connecting with people that has genuine market value that you have been significantly undervaluing. And I keep sensing that something is about to make this visible to you in a concrete way. Someone is going to say something, or an opportunity is going to present itself, or a door is going to open in a direction you were not actively pursuing. And it is going to show you what this thing you have been doing casually is actually worth when it meets the right context. When that happens and I feel it happening, I need you to resist the instinct to deflect, to say, oh, it's not that impressive, or anyone could do this, or I'm not really an expert. Because the truth is that not anyone can do it, and you are precisely expert enough. And the moment is asking you to stand in that fully rather than retreating from it. Your gifts are worth more than you have been charging for them, in every sense of that word. Um, there is something else I keep returning to in this reading that I feel I cannot leave unaddressed. Something about the specific quality of luck that is arriving and why it is arriving now rather than at any other point. I keep sensing that there has been a very particular kind of prayer happening in your life. And I use that word loosely. I don't mean prayer in any specific religious sense. I mean the kind of deep, persistent, private wanting that a person carries when they know what they need but cannot yet see how to get there. The kind of wanting that does not always get spoken out loud, because speaking it out loud makes you vulnerable in a way that feels risky. The kind that lives in the quiet moments, in the space between sleeping and waking, in the thoughts that arrive when you are alone with yourself and the performance of okayness is no longer required. That wanting has been heard. I feel that with such certainty that I want to say it again. That wanting has been heard. And what is arriving, the luck, the opening, the bloom, the recognition, the connection, the material shift, all of it is the response, not to your effort, though your effort matters, not to your patience, though your patience has been extraordinary, but to the authenticity of that wanting, to the fact that what you have been asking for has been asked for honestly from the truest part of yourself, without pretension, without performance, and the universe responds to honesty in ways it does not respond to anything else. You asked honestly, and the answer is arriving. Now I want to speak to you about something that I think is the most important thing in this entire reading, more important than the luck that is coming, more important than the recognition, the relationship, the material shift, more important even than the bloom that I described at the beginning. And that is this: none of what is coming is going to feel the way it feels if you do not change one specific thing about how you relate to yourself. That thing is the internal narrative you carry about your own value. Because, Virgo, I have been in your energy for this entire reading, and underneath everything, underneath the gifts and the depth and the magnetism and the extraordinary particular quality of who you are, I feel something that does not match any of it. A quiet background hum of self doubt that has been running so long you may not even fully hear it anymore. A voice that says, maybe not me, maybe this is for someone else. Maybe I am not quite enough, or not quite ready, or not quite the version of myself that deserves the extraordinary thing. That voice is lying to you. I need you to know that clearly and without softening. It is lying. It does not have accurate information about who you are. It was built from old experiences, old feedback, old moments where you were seen incompletely or not at all. It reflects what other people's limitations could perceive about you, not what you actually are. What you actually are is someone who deserves everything that is coming, not partially, not with conditions, not once you fix the things you think need fixing or become the version of yourself you think you need to become before you qualify. Now, as you are, with all the roughness and the uncertainty and the in progress nature of who you are in this exact moment, the luck that is coming does not care about your unfinished edges. It is drawn to the real, and you are profoundly, extraordinarily, irreplaceably real. I want to close this reading by saying something directly to your heart, because that is where I have been speaking this entire time, and I want the closing to match the tone of everything that came before it. You have been moving through the world with your arms slightly too close to your body, protecting something, taking up a little less space than you are actually entitled to, giving a lot and receiving carefully in managed amounts through a filter that lets in only what seems safe. And that posture, that beautiful, careful, protective posture, has served you. It has kept you intact through things that could have broken you. I am not criticizing it. I am honoring it. And I am also telling you that it is time to open your arms a little wider. Not all the way, not all at once, not in a way that abandons the wisdom you have earned, but wider. Wide enough for what is coming to actually get through, wide enough for luck to land, wide enough for someone to reach you completely rather than reaching only the careful version of you that stands slightly in front of the real one. Wide enough for abundance to enter without you immediately questioning whether you deserve it. You deserve it. You have always deserved it. And the universe, which has been watching you move through your life with those arms held slightly too close, which has been patient with the protection, which has been waiting for the moment when you might be ready to receive at the scale of what you actually have to offer. The universe is nudging you right now. Open just a little more. Let the luck in. Let the bloom happen. Let the people who can see what you carry tell you what they see. Let the extraordinary thing find you. Let yourself be genuinely, completely, unapologetically lucky. Because trust me, Virgo, you have absolutely no idea what you have, and the world is about to show you. If this reading touched something real in you today, if it reached something you have been carrying quietly, if it named something you have not said out loud, please tell me in the comments below. Tell me what landed. Tell me what you are ready to open to. Tell me what you are beginning to let yourself believe. I read every word, and I treasure this community more than I know how to say. If someone in your life needs to hear this message today, please share this video with them. A like helps this reach the people it is meant to find. And if you are not yet part of this community through subscription, I would be so glad to have you here. Virgo, you are more than you know. You always have been.